Hey, how's it going, everybody? Good morning to you, you 177,614 beautiful souls out there watching Sarasota Tim. Good morning to all of you, and God bless each and every one of you. Go Donald Trump. Trumpomaniacs out there. Listen, let's have a cup of coffee and then let's get to the gym. I got my orange shirt on today. I'm tucked in. I got my black shoes on with my black belt, and I'm on the last hole of my belt. It looks like some new belts are on order. I'll have to get over there to Macy's and see what kind of deal they got. Now, let's get the cream out. We're using Walmart, baby, Walmart. Heavy whipping cream. Give it a shake. Put a little dabadooya in there. That's good. Because we're only going to do a half a cup. Man, I wish I had some paper cups. I got to get some. It's that thick paper, though. It's that real thick. We're going to have to go to McDonald's here in a little bit, buy somebody a cup of coffee, and get one ourselves. Lid up. Perfect. So, turn this coffee off. I'll have that later this afternoon. I want to talk to you guys this morning about golf. Golf, baby. You're like, no, we don't care about golf. I know a lot of you don't. And when I make some videos on my golf, you can let me know in the comments. Do you want to see as long of a video or just a little bit of it or none of it? Because I'm going to be golfing. I could even, after this video, look on my phone and book around today because I'm good, I tell you, I'm good. I got it down, man. Yesterday, aside from a couple of holes, I could have broke 80. Let me just try this here delicious coffee. Try not to slurp it. I don't know. Let me go again. I don't know. Let me go again. Oh, baby. That's the best cup of coffee I ever drank in my life. That is good coffee. You know what I made this morning? Gold, baby. I made the gold Highlander grog, and I am stoked on this coffee. I got myself some hard-boiled eggs. Take a look at them. They're beautiful eggs. We love our eggs. Right there they are. You see them? Look how pretty they're all sitting there. I need to run them under some water now. I'm sure they're not too hot to pick up, so I'll have to put them in a bowl. I can use my little, I got a bowl. I can find one. Let's finish this video. So what are you going to do today? What are you guys going to do today? Did you make your bed yet? I made mine. I took a shower. I washed the sleep off. Have I took my eye drops yet? No. What a hassle. Every day. The morning is not too bad because I do only 2 bottles. And in the evening, I got 4 bottles. And then you got to wait 5 minutes minimum in between. So as you can see, it takes like almost 20 minutes to take some medication. And it's really annoying. But, you know, and my left eye is red. I look like a stoner. Let's get going here, buddy. Let me show you something. That's right. Trump, baby, Trump. I don't care. I don't care. If you don't vote for Donald Trump, then you got to wake up. Because if you're an American and you want your country to survive, and you want to keep your Constitution, and you want grocery prices, house prices, car prices. Did you hear what he's going to offer last night? Car loans, 100% interest rate deduction. All your interest. So if rates don't turn into zero or come down, it's going to be deductible. That doesn't change how much your payment's going to be, though, does it? So we got to work on that. Personally, I don't do payments. I thought I was, but I don't. I'm out. It's just annoying. You know, when I was in the car business years ago, we used to try to talk people into financing. The RV people still do it. Everybody wants you to finance. Why? Because they make money. It's called the back end. And when people would come in that are my age now, when I was much younger selling cars, you know, they just wouldn't finance. They know how much is the cash difference between my car and what I got to write a check for. That's all they wanted to know. They didn't care about all the razzmatazz and the other fees. They just wanted to know, what do I got to write a check for? Because you couldn't tell them, look, if you keep your money or put it in a CD or you buy something and sell it and you make money or you do this or you buy stocks or gold, none of that made sense. They didn't want a payment coming in their mailbox in those days or in their email today. They don't want it. They don't want to be annoyed with like, every 30 days there's that. They want that little check, that little payment. Pay it off. So even if it's a depreciating asset, people are still like that. And that's the way I am now. So now I get it. I don't want to be hassled with some kind of payment. I don't want any payments. None. I mean, except for the basics that I, can't get away from. Rent. I don't even have payments on my car insurance. I pay that. They used to let you pay it every year, but now it's only every 6 months because I guess they want to raise your rates and check you out and make sure, you can't get more than 6 months at this price because we're going to inch you up every 6 months. That's their gam. That's their scam. That's the best cup of coffee I ever drank in my life. I'm telling you, it's good. Gold, baby, gold. So here I am in this wonderful, fantastic little camper. If you're new to my channel, about 3 years ago. 3 years now? Wow. 3 years ago, this is late 2024. That'd be 21, right? I blew out of Sarasota from a slumlord landlord that wanted to raise my rent $500. I was paying $1,100, so almost like 50%. And this was the very early stages of rents going up. The first stage, actually. Some went up increments and then they kept climbing and now they're where they are. But this guy went right for the jugular. And he wasn't going to tell me until almost the very last minute of my lease. Within 30 days, they got to contact you and say, we're selling, we're buying, are you going to stay, are you going to leave? And here's the rent increase and not, and da-da-da-da-da. And even without a pandemic, rent increases are kind of a norm that can happen under normal circumstances, right? Maybe not for 2 or 3 years. You got a good landlord, you've been there, and then, a few years later, they're like, hey, we got to bump you another $25 a month or $50. So I started hearing about these high rents 3 years ago, and I called him up like 3 months before my lease was up. And I said, hey, I've just been hearing some stuff. He goes, yep, $500. If you don't like it, you can leave. I mean, just like that in a nutshell. I'm not exaggerating. He was like, yep, $500. You pay it or leave it. You can check Craigslist. I already got another one rented. I rented it for that, blah, blah, blah. That's what I can get. I got 15 units in there. That's what I want. If you can't pay it, when your lease is up, you can stay for another 1 or 2 months for that new price and then get out. In other words, because I was there for almost 6 years, he was going to be so nice to let me pay the increase and not sign a lease and give me a month to month for a couple months until I found something. So I had to finish my obligation to get my last security. Well, my security, not first and last. We use that. We use the last. When we left, I'm going to tell you this gospel, okay? He was the cheapest landlord I ever had rented from in my life. Every time the washing machine had an issue, he sent out the same guy. The maintenance issues, whenever we needed something, he sent out this other same guy. And what those guys would do for him is he would tell them, look, I'm going to give you all my units to do stuff for me. But don't do anything for these people that's going to cost me any money. You tell them this is the best washing machine. It's loud and noisy. It doesn't wring out your clothes good. But this is the old school machine that, is better than the new ones. So I told a guy that came to my washing machine repair one day, I said, well, look, take this one with you. And he goes, believe me, this is better than those new ones like I've got. This is the good kind. I'm like, well, take this with you and I'll swap you for your new one. So he was a cheapskate. He didn't want you to, spend any money. And he's a businessman. I get this. But as a renter, and we never wanted to bother him either because we didn't want to hear about no rent increases. I fixed things myself or tolerated it, whatever. We never really had that big of an issue. But what I did have that was kind of trivial, he didn't want to fix. And this maintenance guy he had, what a joke. What a joke. One day, we first moved in. Here's what he said. We had a ceiling fan that was broke, and he was going to replace it with a new one. And the guy said, yeah, I hear about you moving in and all, and I'm going to come over there and do that, but can we do it another day? Today, I just don't feel like it. It's exactly, quote, unquote, what he told me. I said, okay, sure. I mean, I just moving in. I don't want to create any waste. But he just told me because he don't feel like it. Oh, my gosh. So anyway, he was going to raise the rent $500. It was 3 months before the lease ended. We cleaned that place and left it better than we found it. One good thing I will say about him, he returned the money via Zelle in seconds after he opened the door and saw the place. And he even left a nice compliment saying, I've never seen a unit left as clean. I mean, when we walked out of there, I'm using my foot, using the Cuban mop, a towel on the floor, all the way out. I painted my way out and threw that towel away. That place was spick and span. Smelt clean, looked clean, was clean. All anybody had to do was open the door like I did 5 years earlier and say, I'll take it. And, I guess he got his rent. But anyway, back to the long story. I moved out and I bought a little camper, a little Wolf Pup camper made by the same manufacturer. It's called a Forest River. That's the manufacturer that makes this. And it was a 17-foot camper called a Wolf Pup. And I didn't know a Wolf Pup from a Wolf Doggy. And turns out it was one of the most desired little small campers on the market. I mean, they were a cult following, like Airstreams. They're really, really popular. My daughter actually has one. She has the different bunk bed style. I had the rear bath style. But anyway, I loved it. I lived in it over on the Intercoastal Waterway in West Palm Beach for, wow, I guess it's been over 3 years since I've been doing this. About a year and a half or something like that. And I was property manager. I had a deal worked out where I was just squatting there. As long as I did all these other things, it was a very, very, very appreciative and valuable asset to the owners of the property. So it was a win-win. So in that time that I didn't have to pay $2,000 a month rent, I saved my money. And then a year ago this month, I was in Georgia, just with my camper, going to go see the apple festivals and the leaf changes and all that people do. And I walked into this RV dealer and found this. There's a lot longer story to it, but I just found this and I wanted it. And I happened to have my trade-in with me, which was very ironic. And I gave it to him. He gave me good money. I paid the difference and I got it. And I thought I was just going to travel with it or stay in it. I mean, I was going to live in it back where I was in Florida on the water over there, a place I was telling you about. But turns out it was going to be my permanent home and to travel across this country in. And now getting ready potentially to go one more time. And a lot of these were purchased based on my review. Because I'm going to tell you right now, after this one ends, because we're going to crush it for part 3.